Joining me now to talk more about the issues surrounding genetically modified food is Eric Holt-Gimenez. He's the Executive Director for Food First Institute for Food and Development Policy. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's try and get some context around this issue. I mean, we heard one of the demonstrators in one of our reports there calls Monsanto's products killer seeds. And Monsanto is saying that, look, there's been no evidence that our food has done any harm to anybody. So what exactly is the opposition to Monsanto about?
Well, look, first of all, there have been absolutely no studies that have actually looked at populations that have been consuming GMOs to tell whether or not there have been effects from GMO seeds. So scientifically, one cannot say that GMO seeds are harmless. Right? And I think that when we look at Monsanto, it's been around for about 100 years. They started out poisoning us with PCBs and then went on to dioxin and Agent Orange. And from there, they've moved on to glyphosate. And they've become, of course, a monopoly. And they've become a monopoly on seeds. Their seeds have actually, in 20 years since Monsanto has been producing their GMO seeds, they've not fed one single hungry person. We've got to realize that. When they say they're going to feed the world now, there's absolutely no evidence to show that they can actually do this. What they've done is they've produced feed, and that feed is used to feed cattle and poultry and pigs and livestock, and poor people can't afford to buy that. So I don't think that Monsanto has a very good track record environmentally, socially, or in terms of feeding the world at all. So what they've actually been doing is profiting by poisoning us for at least 80 years now.
Right, so I just want to get to the core of the dispute here. So what you're saying is that it's not actually the nutrient content of the products they're producing. Most of those products, as you say, are fed to animals. It's a problem here with what they do to the environment.
Well, it's a problem what they do to the environment, and we don't know whether or not injecting genes from different species into corn plants or soy plants, whether it has a direct impact on our health, because Monsanto hasn't allowed scientists access to their seeds in order to carry out these studies. And we've never carried out these studies on broad populations over time. So they can't say that these seeds are harmless at all. And if we use the precautionary principle, of course, we wouldn't be marketing these seeds. We wouldn't be using the planet and its people as a lab experiment for Monsanto's profits.
Okay, let's look at the political dispute that has now emerged over this. President Obama signed what's being referred to as the Monsanto Protection Act. It was just part of a bill that was attached to a much bigger spending bill. If there is such opposition to this in the country, why did the president sign this?
Well, I think we have to realize that Monsanto's had tremendous influence over legislation in the United States ever since the Supreme Court decided that it was okay to patent life. And Monsanto then helped to write that bill. And then the Supreme Court just recently decided that Monsanto could have infinite intergenerational property rights in the recent Bowman case. And so shouldn't be surprise us at all that Monsanto holds tremendous influence over the president with the Monsanto Protection Act.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what's in it for the White House here?
Well, I think you have to realize that not only Monsanto, but of course Bayer, Dow, and others have all lobbied heavily and spent heavily in Washington. And so these are favors which are being paid back. I mean, I don't think that we should be surprised by these sort of events. This is the way Washington works.
Okay, Eric, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.